guys, it's Rhonda, and I'm here tonight to share with you the ZANY ZEBRAS class. So this class is for everybody that bought the kit through me. So I am going to go ahead and show you what you get in your packet, and then we will get started with the stamping. So here we go. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and so you can see my setup a little tiny bit, but let's go ahead and zoom you in a little bit here. So okay, so when you get your packet, you're going to receive it all in a cello bag like this. So right now I have in here all of your cards, your bases, and your envelopes. And then you will receive a packet like this, which has all of the paper pieces for each card. So if these are sealed, it means you don't have to get into them for your stamping. So you'll get these three, each are packeted for 2 cards each. Then you'll have this pack, and that is all of the stamping pieces. So you should only need to have this out when you're stamping. And then you're also going to receive the playing with patterns, ribbon spools, full spools of each. You're going to receive a full package of the playing with patterns resin dots, and then you'll receive the playing with patterns DSP. Now you'll get it and it'll have your packet of paper in here, but it's already been opened because I've had to cut from your stack. And then any scrap that was sizable you got back. So you're going to get the pepper, the dots, and the ribbon, and that's your product swag bag. And then you will also get the 6 cards, 2 of each, of 3 designs. And then you will use your own stamps, inks, etc. And this is the stamp set, ZANY ZEBRAS. It's currently on back order, but should be coming out soon with a new refill date. So go ahead and order that for yourself if you don't have it already. I've gone ahead and, as you can see, I've mounted all of my stamps so that whatever we need will be ready. So what I'm going to do is kind of go in here, and this is that packet, try to stay on camera, that has all of your stamping pieces in it. And so I'm going to kind of set them out, and you'll see what you have to work with, okay? So we've got 2 ovals, we've got 2 stitch circles, we've got 2 pieces that we're going to stamp and then fussy cut for our hats and for our greetings, okay? So the 3 zebras are this little guy, and he's looking to the left. And then we have our kicking up the heels, and that one goes on there. And then on this one, you have room to stamp your zebra, and then also your party animal tag, okay? I realize you can't see those quite yet. Maybe I'll go ahead and shove these up even further. So, and then I'm just using the Memento ink. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this nice and inked. And then you're gonna stamp on your, and I'm bringing it down here so hopefully you can still kind of see, but you're just gonna hover a little bit, give it a good firm impression, and then, so when you do your stamping, just do it all at once. Have your ink out and use everything in this little white packet. So you'll have your 2 of those. And then now we have our circles. And this is the kicking your heels up guy. And the PDF is complete. I'm gonna take crisp, clean pictures tonight after I stamp this for you. And I'm stamping him a little bit up towards the top, because we want to leave a spot for his greeting, the kicking up of his heels, to go down under him. So just kind of bring his hairline up to the top. And I'm just using a Memento that's nice and juicy. The nice thing is the Mementos clean off your stamps really nice too. So, and then this last little guy, we are gonna stamp him to be fussy cut. So we can stamp him pretty close to the bottom. And then with that greeting, we'll go ahead and turn this because we're gonna make like a little tiny banner cut. And so we just need to be able to like have a spot where we can take a little slice. So we can easily cut that and give it a little banner cut. So leave a little bit of room underneath the greeting so that you can do a little flag tag down here under it. So there's our main stamping. And then this piece is, you have 6 zebras. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I actually gave you plenty because you could go closer to the image and you could even, you know, opposite them and you'll be set. So we'll let that dry. Those are gonna get fussy cut out. And I wasn't sure who had the classic image or the classic label punch. So I went ahead and I sent you punched shapes. Okay, so you're gonna do 2 of each greeting. And so we've got happy birthday. And so we're just gonna line it up, look through, pray to the gods. Not bad, huh? I'm sorry if you're seeing the top of my head. So there's 2 happy birthdays. There's a kicking up heels. I think the birthdays go there. Kicking up heels go this way. And then we have Wild About You for our party animal down here on the end. And actually, I mean, I'm getting pretty lucky here, but they are, well, that one's a little bit off, a little bit crooked, but it's a party animal, so that is okay. So there, you are basically done with your stamping. The only other thing that I stamped was on this yellow piece down here in the bottom corner. Let me get those zebras out of our way. We did. It's time to celebrate. So once you've done this, we basically could clean up our stamps if I had a helper out here to do that. Put our ink away. Oh, I reached through there. Sorry. So you can see those 2 go with this. The only other thing you're going to do is you're going to color in your little hats. Let's see. So we'll do, and just because this is so small, I have the dark daffodil, but you can certainly do whichever color. So I have 2 daffodils that are dark, and then I think I'm going to use the light navy, and I'm going to, again, with that brush tip or the bullet tip, I'm going to go ahead and color in those. Now I'm going to go ahead and skip over here to the next hat, and I'm going to color in again those blue dots there. And then I'm going to grab the posy, purple posy blend here. We're going to color that one in with some purple posy on that hat. And then the last one, we'll do the hat again. And you can do these any color combination that you like. So hopefully I am still on camera here. And then we'll go ahead and do the coral for the dots on this posy hat. Okay, so then we're done with our coloring. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bring you in a little bit closer. So here is your hats. Purple posy with the coral, the light navy with posy, and then we have the dark daffodil. So we're gonna fussy cut those out. And then we have our 2 zebras here. Our 2 ovals will go with the happy birthday. Our 2 circle ones will go with the kicking up your heels. And then, oops, sorry. The sky will go with the wild about you. Okay, so there's a little bit of fussy cutting that we need to do for this guy. So basically, since we had this yellow card out and we had stamped that greeting, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom back out a little bit here so that you can see. So remember, you had a packet for this. So if you look at your tutorial, you'll be able to see that this one goes with the navy. So you have your Knight of Navy card base, and then it's also been scored. So we're scored there 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fold our card base in half. And then we're gonna take this front and we're gonna fold it back on itself, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna make one for the sake of the video. And we're gonna use adhesive. This is a brand new one, so I gotta get it started. And I know we're just supposed to do a light touch on these new Seal and Seal Plus, sorry. And then we'll go ahead and we'll stick this navy. Now, if it's easier for you to do it on it flat, you should have enough room for a small border around each edge there. And then we'll go ahead and grab our yellow. And we'll add some adhesive to this. I do find that I think this adhesive is pretty strong and works fairly well. So again, I would start with the outside edge and just get your 3, and then it'll come to the inside. And then we're gonna do our little kicking up our heels. Okay, whoops, got pushed too hard. There we go. And we're gonna mount this to our navy oval, scalloped. So I'm sorry, this is not an oval, this is a circle. So we did our layering circles in, sorry, I've got a little bit of adhesive on my finger there, so that's okay. We'll just get that off with our good old gummy eraser. Okay, because I'm on camera, right? Seriously? Okay. And then we will use our mini dimensionals, and we'll throw a couple of those on. And then we'll just kind of get his heels going, and we'll kind of put that down under his feet. Can you see that? Okay. And then what we have is we have this blue ribbon. Now, when I did my samples, I didn't have the playing with patterns ribbons. So the ribbons are going to be, you're going to get all the ribbons, but we're going to go around here twice. And then we're going to come up to the top. Okay, so I've got, oh gosh, about that much, twice around. I'm gonna go over, we're gonna pull this back, and we're gonna do, oh, I want a little tiny bit of a knot there just to hold this thin ribbon tight. Spread that 2 little rows out so it's nice and a little bit separated on the top and bottom, just so that you can kind of see it. It gives it a little more depth there. And I'm fussing with it because it looks like one of my ribbons turned just briefly, so I'd rather have it be turned on the back. And then what I'm gonna do is give you guys a little piece of this ribbon, probably just you know, so that you can kind of take a small piece, flap it there, and if you want to cut that into 2 separates, you can. And then we're going to go ahead and finish this one off by pulling tight and tying it into a little bow. And then we'll go ahead and, oh, I knew that wouldn't work because those aren't my ribbon scissors. So you're gonna have to hang on a second. And I'm gonna reach behind me and go ahead and grab those ribbon scissors. And then we will go ahead and just cut this at a couple of angles to give it a little bit more fluff in there as well. This ribbon is just, you know, the blue is so pretty, that navy, gosh. And I'm typically not a blues girl, but that ribbon is really pretty. It has kind of a shine to it and everything. But I think the white just gives it a little extra heft there. So, and this is not mounted, so if you need to raise it up, you can kind of, as you see, I can come down here and just sort of manipulate the ribbon, like pull and push with my fingers to get it where I think I want it. And then we'll go ahead and we're gonna grab, now you can use regular or small dimensionals, either way. And I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of fold this closed, and I think I wanna actually bring my ribbon a little more towards me so that you can see it. And then this guy's gonna go on about halfway. So I'm gonna kind of visualize, yep, there we go. Third one stuck to the nail. I'm gonna fuss with this one more time, see if I can get it to lay flat. There we go. Right? Okay. And the other thing I like to do is, just because I think it's easier, is we'll go ahead and pull a width of tear and tape. You could run your adhesive right down there, but I'd like to know that this is gonna hold and not pop back open. And then I usually do one that's this width, and I kind of like to cover that ribbon just to help hold it in place. And then hopefully this tear and tape will come off. Fold that back onto itself. And now we can peel these backings off. And we'll go ahead and get ready to mount that there. And then I usually take a couple. I come in here from the side, and I don't stick them down to the cardstock because I'm not exactly sure where my, you know, shape is gonna land, but now I've got a couple more over on this edge, and then I've got the other ones that were hidden here along the seam. We have our greeting. If you wanted, you could do another little something in here, but this is light enough that you can go ahead and write. And then you are going to, this card will get the yellow hats, okay? So you're just gonna fussy cut these hats. Now I am gonna use one of the resin dots. So when I come up around here, I don't really care what that looks like. I'm gonna skip right over here and just sort of kind of come up and around. And you could just, well, I don't want to cut it off completely, and that's because I want to put a resin dot on it and it's going to be popped up. So I'm keeping kind of this little top fuzz. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick a mini, if it'll fit. I think it's like right down at the base of the hat. It isn't wide enough for a mini to fit. And then we're going to come back up here right before his ear. We're going to go ahead and stick his hat. Kind of following that curve of his head before his ear there. And then you'll add your oh my gosh. Well, this is, oh, it's on this end. Okay, never mind. I always slice it so that I don't have to open it again and again. So this little guy will get a few of these. And I'm probably going to use one of each. So we'll go ahead and scoop up the little one. And that will go up here on his little head. And then there's this row of kind of a medium. So we'll go ahead and we'll do one of those. And we'll kind of throw that one out here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll grab this really big one. And we will stick it kind of down off to the side. So we've went ahead and done those in like 3 different ones, just kind of a zigzag there. So there is your first card. Now, if you wanted, you could add Wink of Stella if you wanted. So anyhow, you're gonna have everything to make 2 of those. So I'm just gonna set that second one aside. And then with the, so that's the first one. While I get this other stuff, I'll let you kind of stare at that for a second in case you're stamping and you want to get caught up. I'm going to go ahead and clean off my scraps. I guess throw them right back in front of me. Anyhow, there's that little piece. And now we will grab the white one. So the white card base is 4 1/4 by 11. It's been scored at 5 1/2, and it's also been scored at 2 3/4. So you're going to go ahead and fold this one back on itself, similar in what we did to that blue card where it folded back on itself. Here we have the purple posy, really pretty. So this is going to be your card packet for this one. Again, you have everything in here to do 2. So you're going to need a back panel, you're going to need a front, and you're going to need 1 of each oval, okay? And then just to start out with, we're going to go ahead and I did not measure. So what I want to do is around this coral, I like to work right off the spool. So if you don't like it, then you can measure. And we're just gonna take it and we wanna make a really loopy bow. So we wanna give ourselves, this ribbon tie is super nice. It's really kind of flimsy, but it holds really well. So you wanna be right out here, way out here at the end, okay? Because we want this bow to actually sit almost off our oval because we're gonna be layering all these other ovals. So then I want my purple to show. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip that, come down with the inside, and then pop back up with the purple. Give it a little bit of a twist to get your ribbon laying the way you want, because I want all those little stripes. This ribbon, if you haven't seen it, has a really dainty stripe on one side, but you see it better on one side than both. So then this one needs to be a little bit bigger. So we're gonna go ahead and pull a little more ribbon out. And now I can go ahead, don't need that much, but we can trim that off, get that out of our way. And now I'm just gonna play with this. I'm not gonna make it be too tight yet, because we are gonna come in here and we are going to mount some dimensionals. And we also want one of our, this is our little lefty guy. So he is gonna get mounted straight down. Oh, I think I see a Freddy, oh my gosh, a Henry hair. I was gonna say a Frenchie hair. So then this is gonna go just in the center of that oval. Do I need to bring you in a little more? And so now we're gonna go ahead and take this. We've got our knot kind of up here to the side, so we're gonna kind of hover to have this part stick there. Again, we're going to use a couple mini dimensionals for our little greeting. Now these I'm going to go ahead and do a little closer to the center because the bottom of this oval isn't wide. And so if you stick your dimensionals way out here on the sides, it's going to be like out in thin air. So we are going to go ahead and stick this one right there and right there. Okay, and then now that this piece is kind of done, we can sort of play with how big and loopy we think we want our bow to be. So I kind of like that they're not laying flat. So we'll just kind of come in here, give that a little end cut, and this one is going the opposite way, trim it a little tiny bit. And then on this one, we are just gonna add this panel. Well, that was a nice long stretch of adhesive. So it rolled really, really nice. So, and now you're gonna come over here. This is just gonna be, again, it's decorative, but it's light enough that you can write your note, or you can also adhere and insert an inside panel if you wish, you know, of some white. Oops. Kind of tacked down before I was ready. Okay. Oh, I'm sure that impressed everybody there. So I got it nice and crooked. Oh goodness. Okay, well, through the magic of camera, well, the second one will turn out better. So, oops, looks like I've been doing a little check mark to the right, and you don't really need to. So you have to remember to just lift straight up. And so on this pattern, it's gonna go, now we're gonna cover quite a bit up, so I wanna kind of have a little bit of my coral showing and a little of the yellow. So I decided to kind of rotate that around. And then this one is gonna come up, and then this will mount like that. So again, with the dimensionals, and I'm kind of going up here both sides and then about halfway. And I'm gonna go ahead and stick just a couple more on there to make it secure. So one. Oh, I don't have my take a pick tool. I was gonna show you. That's like my favorite little thing now. So again, this guy's gonna come, and again, you can kind of estimate where your dimensionals are. I'm gonna go like that, and he is gonna get the coral and posy hat. I'm not gonna cut both, but again, we're just gonna cut straight up on both sides, come in here, and without worrying too much what that looks like, we're just gonna cut and come back down. We're gonna grab a dimensional, mini dimensional in the back there. And now you're gonna go between his ears, and then there will be that. And you're gonna bring your dots back in, if you knew where you put them. Let's see. So we had yellow, this one gets posy. So we're gonna go ahead and do a small little posy up there on that. And then we'll come in and do a medium. Oh, let's see, where do we want to stick another one? Maybe out here. And then we'll do another little small one, and we'll do it over here on the greeting. So again, it just used 3, kind of spread them around. You've got your ribbon. I can see that's a little tiny bit long. So I am gonna come in here, and I don't want it to get in the way when I'm trying to close the card. So anyhow, this is one of our happy birthday. And then honestly, for the Wink of Stella, you could come in and add it wherever you want. You can Wink of Stella the stripes. You can come in here and, like right now, I'm just going over everything that's the white body. On one of them, I just did everything that was gray. So I basically took where his stripes were and did Wink of Stella over the stripes. But this one, you know, we'll just do different, and we'll do the whole body in the white spots. Okay, so we have our second card. Oops, let's find that spot. There you go. And then I'll try to come up and see if you can see. I don't know if the Wink of Stella, if there's a good angle for you to be able to see that, but anyhow, it's on there. So that is the second card. And then the third card is a 4 1/4 by 11, and we've scored it 2 3/4 from each end. So all of these are fun folds. So you have 3 different fun folds that you can experiment with. This is going to use this packet. In here you have stripes and dots, and then you're going to have square, scallop square, and stitched square. So the easy way to get started on these is to go ahead, and these just get whichever way you want it, one on top and one on bottom. And it's an even fold right now, so it doesn't matter which one goes where. You should have that border around each side. So you're gonna see on some of your DSPs, I had to use on the yellow to make the card the same. I had to use both sheets, and on the Posy to do the inside of that card, I had to use both pieces. But you do get 4 pieces of each DSP in your packet, so you will still have some of each to play with. And then on this one, we're gonna go ahead and bring this around. Now this is the Coastal Cabana ribbon. Again, I'm using it off my spool. So I'm gonna kind of come in here. This one's gonna tie a little bit stiffer, I believe. So my bottom usually is the one that gets folded and then comes up. The top piece comes around. And I use my finger to kind of push it through and then grab. So now that's really a tight knot there, but you can still adjust it. You'll see I can kind of put my fingers in here, because then you can pull on the center of the knot to try to not loose the center too much, and then still be loopy. Now this one side feels a little bit big, and usually one side pulls from the bottom side of the bow and the other one pulls from the top side of the ribbon. So I'm going to go ahead and call that good for now. And we'll just go ahead and angle cut those edges and put our ribbon away. And then for mounting our squares, we are going to go ahead and these are going to go. Oh, that is some sticky adhesive there. Okay, so this stitch square is just going to go straight in the center of the navy. And then we are going to, oh gosh, with our mini dimensionals, we will go ahead and attach. Should have had an extra packet laying around, huh? Now I got to use the edges in front of everybody. Well, do you use your edges at home? I hope you do. It's extra. They're free. They come with your package. So, and then we'll go ahead and just center this one. And by raising it up, it allows a little bit of depth, but it also allows that little color to just pop through. And then this one is the one, oh goodness, where did I put it? Okay, we've got our greeting there, Wild About You. We got our party animal. Now I want this to be fairly small. So like an inch is probably still too wide. So I'm gonna come in here and say maybe 7/8. Okay, so see, I had all that room and I still didn't come anywhere close to chopping off my, now this one we're gonna leave a little bigger, so I'm gonna leave it about 1 3/4, I think that is roughly. I didn't give it to you to stamp exact because it's one of these that we're really actually gonna just fussy cut and make our own. So come up to the bottom, kind of in the center. From both sides. You could use your triple banner punch if you have it laying around. I don't, so that's there. And then I heard a word called bubble cut. I'm gonna bring you back out a little bit. So a bubble cut means that you're gonna fussy cut, but you don't have to be as precise because you're just gonna go around it and get the bubble. You don't have to be exact on all your ins and outs. So anyhow, this is how I do it. And we'll go up in to the tail a little, but I'm not gonna go all the way around all that. Oh, Rachel just went upstairs and now you're gonna hear Henry whining because sister left him. Sorry about that, people.
Hey.
Now you're gonna hear Dave yell at the dog. They're all trying to help out, stay quiet, but Henry was playing with Rach and she took off upstairs to her room. And so he was sitting at the steps wondering, where are you, sissy? So anyhow, just kind of turn your paper again. And I heard somebody reference, like once they get this cut out and you put it on your card, nobody's gonna know how close you came or didn't come to the line. So, okay, so there we are. We're done, but I'm gonna come back in here and just cut away that space. But see, I didn't want that white between his legs or in the body, but up here I don't care about. So anyhow, we will go ahead and get a few little, well, I'm gonna really have to cut a small one to do his little hat, huh? So we'll put a few of these down here. Again, secure, but he doesn't have to be, you know, too glued down. And we've got his Wild About Him. So since we don't really have any little ones, I'm gonna end up wanting to stick that right there. Okay, so I have that kind of behind the wild because I want this to tuck under his head. If it runs into a dimensional, you can just cut this off if you need to. But you want the Wild About You. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make another little tiny one. And again, because I wasn't sure where it was gonna hit, I didn't put it on at first, but I'm gonna just stick it in there behind. Then that will go like that. And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to get some dimensionals ready. I had to check, make sure I was putting them on the right side, because again, this is going to overlap that fold. So you don't want your dimensional way down here at the bottom. If you pull slow, you might get it up. Good. Because some of this is going to overlap to the bottom. So you really want these all to stick to the top half of your card. And the top half is the dots. So go ahead, close that, and you want your Wild About You. Oh, we didn't do the greeting. So I'm gonna visualize this going around in the top thirds. So that's how I sort of center where that part goes. Now we have our little wild party animal. This is gonna go up in here. So I'm gonna need to trim that shorter. And I also, for the sake of camera, I forgot to bring a little piece of posy over here with me. I was supposed to have a little scrap of posy. So anyhow, I'm just gonna bring this in and we're gonna finish off, and this little guy is gonna get the posy navy hats. So you can kind of just come in here, do those little triangle cuts, and then just sort of, you know, slide around in a circle, come back over to the other side. Now that left a little too much white. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm not liking it. So I'm just gonna come back in and slice a little closer to the line. And then we need a little skinny dimensional for this guy. And we will go ahead and stick that up on him in front of his ear. And then he is going to get the coastal cabana ones. So we're going to go ahead and stick a little one on his hat. We can stick another little one that fits nice out here on his banner. And then I think we will go ahead and come in here and we will stick another little one on this tag. Okay. Again, I'm going to have to cut a little bit of that off. I put my dimensional right there in the corner, so I'm going to just, I'll show you what you can do. You can go like that, and then this will go up under there. And then we have our You, Wild About You, You Party Animal. Okay, and that will have a little tiny border of posy going around it as well. The second thing you can choose to do or not is you could take some of our new foam strips that come in the stripes, or you can make your own. And you could choose if you want this to be a gift card. That was Henry coughing. Sorry about that, everybody. You know, the family is not participating with the fact that I'm doing a video. Guess they're not used to me videoing. Okay, I'm having a hard time here with this lovely little, get this foam strip off of here. Okay. So anyhow, you could stick a couple of foam little skinny pieces down here in your corner on both sides. I'm sorry. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And I just cut like little skinny, because basically you want to be able to stick a credit card, a gift card, not a credit card, unless you're giving away your credit card. Because then, and you could secure this like once you know where you want it. You kind of want that bow a little bit off to the left there, and like we didn't, you know, put the, I wondered why it wasn't sticking. Didn't pull the back off. Okay. So as you can see, we didn't put adhesive. If you wanted to help that stay, you could run your adhesive, especially if the continuous strips, you could go across the whole thing there. And then we will have we'll add the posy back layer, and then we'll have our little You Party Animal, and then this would all lift up at the same time in the front. Again, you can add your Wink of Stella wherever you want. So we'll get those out of the way. I'm just gonna show you what I mean. Now this one was the one I made when I didn't have the right ribbons. So this is supposed to be the coastal ribbon. But you can see basically this just has a thin little layer of the purple posy. Okay, so you'll get that. Actually, I forgot to cut it. So you'll get that in your packet. And then you will make 2 of each. So you'll have your Wild About You. He's a fussy cut. You stamped him and cut him out. And then you have your Happy Birthday. So you've got 2 folds. This comes up, make it into this. This one you can leave. You can leave it so it goes like this. So if you wanted, you could stick a second birthday message here. You could put a different kind of DSP there, another birthday greeting. You could also, like we did on the first one, we went ahead and adhered that. Mostly I adhered it because I had my ribbon there. And so now my ribbon isn't being, annoying, and you can't get to it because it's behind that fold. So that was basically the same kind of fold, just on the short with a horizontal card, and this one on the tall with the portrait card. So anyway, there are your little zebras. Don't forget, add your Wink of Stella wherever you want. You've used a little bit of each of the resin dots, a little bit of each of your ribbons. You've got a sampling of all the 3 images, all the greetings from the stamp set, almost everything. We did not make a unicorn with this one, but anyhow, those are all your cards. I hope you had fun. I hope the video is helpful, and I'm sorry for any extracurricular distractions. So anyway, that's Zany Zebras, and thanks for joining me. I hope you'll join me again for my next class. If you have any questions, reach out, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.